The Christian community often fails to approach discussions about sex with love and understanding.
I'm not happy about it. That's a weird face.
Okay, thank you.
Personally, me and my husband talk about sex all the time. It's natural. It's ordained by God. I mean, that's how we get people, right? You have to have sex to get people. So we talk about it all the time. My parents could have done a better job at teaching me how to discern people and who's for you and who's not for you. So otherwise, I wouldn't have dated half the guys I dated. So as a whole, I think, at least in America, we could do better, but there are congregations that are talking about sex. You're not going to see, like I hear this phrase all the time, planes that land safely are not reported. You only hear about the airplane crashes. You're not going to hear about the good work that's actually being done. So that's unfortunate, but the conversations are being had. I just wish that they were shared through the world, and you're seeing that. You're seeing more people come out and sharing these and being able to have these discussions. But for me, I think that we still do it and we still talk about it.
Okay, thank you.
I mean, I remember going to church when I was younger. It was always save yourself till marriage and very minimal comments afterwards.
Especially about gay sex.
Yes, exactly. And it's one of those things, I think it's a touchy subject, you know, and in a way, it comes from, I think, a good place, but it does fail. How many younger girls with probably religious parents end up pregnant due to misinformation about birth control and things like that? If maybe they came from
very rural religious areas.
If maybe that family if the Christian community did empower their women more to be open to talk about those conversations and not act like your kids aren't hooking up. You know what I mean? Like, come on, we all get those feelings once our hormones kick in. So I feel like definitely let's not make it an awkward topic, something that, you know, we need to talk about. Even my mom, being a Christian woman, when she heard I was sexually active at the age of 13, she put me straight on birth control. So I mean, congrats to her. She you know, she understood. But there is a lot of those parents that I remember growing up with their kids where they couldn't even have that conversation. You know, it was like taboo. And it's definitely something I feel as the Christian community, they should look into that. Maybe we'll save themselves a lot of that child pregnancies and all that going on.
Thank you. Yep.
And when I feel like I have been in the church, like what you said, I feel like there was just such a lack of education. I remember so many of my peers that were in the church, you know, getting pregnant, like like being teenagers, because regardless of whether we like to address it or not, like, you know, our hormones are happening. And if those people had the proper education and guidance, and it doesn't necessarily mean like promoting, like, you know, being sexually active at a young age. It's about understanding, like, you know, like, does this add anything to your self-esteem? Is it? No, it doesn't. Like, is there a time and place for it? And is there a way for you to do it safely if you are going to do it? Because I feel like there were so many lives that could have had an easily different trajectory had there been more education and also just more empathy from the church. I remember a lot of those girls that would get pregnant would get ostracized and they would like leave the church, and it's kind of like, then what the hell happens to them? You know, then it's like a much harder path, and then you know, I feel like a lot of Christians wonder, like, where did all these people go? And it's like, you hurt them.
I would rather sleep with so many of my followers rather than one of my exes because they respect me and treat me with so much more humanity than some of the people I've been sexually active with in the past. And my body count is 4, like, and I'm married, so.
Talking with the pastors, in terms of the education that the church gives on the Bible, waiting until you're married, the women who do wait until they're married, but then have no idea what to do as a wife, how to have sex with her husband, what's expected. Do you think that there is enough education?
I don't think there is enough education. I think there needs to be more preaching and teaching, whether it's from the pulpit or it's classes. I know one pastor at one point, he sent all the children out and he had a heart-to-heart with his congregation regarding sex and marriage, and you need that.
If you have a congregation, people, you know, are willing to listen because this is what you're saying is the right thing, they feel conviction. There are some women who will even say that once they got married, they had so much shame about sex before marriage, that now they can't break that and have sex properly with their husband. But
And the
if
Bible
it's not being taught at the
says
church,
that
they're
the
gonna find it
marriage
somewhere
bed
else.
is undefiled. So whatever you do within that context of marriage. And when I got married, I realized that my covenant was not only with my husband, but my covenant was with God, and that I had to keep that covenant with God. And so that really impressed upon me. And that's why it's like my devotion to one person within that spiritual context. But again, the marriage bed is undefiled. So whatever you want to do, you can do it, you know.
I would say, I believe as a Christian community, we need to embrace the message of love and acceptance across the board. I think that's one of the challenges that many people have with the idea of the church and Christianity, because we feel like whatever the topic is, there's no love and acceptance. And that's not the message of Christ. Like, he sat and hung out with everybody. And so when I think about this message, I'm like, man, this goes far beyond sex. Like, yes, this is a part of it, but my heart is like, I wish more people knew. But I was that person too. I was like, oh, I don't want to deal with church people. I was like, so it took me some time, and the Lord had to show me, Brittany, I'm calling you to be something different. I know you've had these experiences and other people have had these experiences, but I want when people meet you to say, I met one Christian girl that wasn't like the rest of the Christian girls. She talked to me, she complimented me, she didn't judge me for what I did, she just met me where I was. And so that's what my ministry is about. Like, if I focus on what other people have done that have not represented the God that I know I've encountered, then I would get discouraged, because I used to get discouraged. Like, I still do now. Like, Christians, why are y'all treating other people like that? But now I realize, like, I want to be that difference. I want to show women, like, God loves you. It doesn't matter what you do, how many times. Let's just start there. Hey, sis, God loves you. What are you? Where are you going to go eat? Let's start there. Like, I don't even, when I minister to people, I don't talk to them about what they do or what they don't. I just want to get to know you for who you are. I've enjoyed this conversation of just learning about you all, your perspectives, your boldness. I'm like, okay, girls, like, I can learn some things, you know, and that doesn't mean, so I think that's the conversation even more, just love and acceptance. Jesus loved and accepted. And once you're brought in, then he starts doing all of these things in us. And, when I came into the faith, there were two things I was not giving up. I was not giving up my money or my man. And I was like, y'all can get the rest. But my man, I'm keeping him, and this church ain't getting none of my money. And so I kept going and just kept growing in my personal, not religion, but personal relationship. Just, I'm not trying to do what other people do. Let me just figure this thing out on my own. Started praying and just, taking my personal journey. And then I started realizing some of the things I were doing, I didn't want to do them anymore. And I was like, what's wrong with me, But I was changing, but it was because of that love and that acceptance first. I think we need that first, but a lot of times we're trying to modify behavior without accepting people and receiving them for where they are, who they are, and then letting the change go from there.